Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. And today we will be talking about how budget and legacy carriers work, how they compare to each other, and which to choose and stay with, which is honestly in your preference. Just so you guys know, I'm here to talk about how they work, how they differentiate, what warrants that difference, and what should you choose. So without further ado, let's get started. Also, please refrain from starting any arguments or anything unimportant in the comments. Thank you. Just so you guys know, I am not here to gripe about how bad budget airlines are and how good legacy carriers are, but I'm here to explain the economics and processes between doing this. So I want you guys to have an open mind and not be biased. Nevertheless, let's get into it. So first, let's get into legacy carriers, and I'm specifically talking about the 5 that we all know of in the United States: Alaska, United, Hawaiian, American, and Delta. A typical characteristic of legacy carriers is that they usually provide higher quality services than a low-cost carrier. For example, a legacy carrier typically offers first class and business class seating, a frequent flyer program, and exclusive airport lounges. Many legacy carriers are also members of an airline alliance through which they agree to provide those services to each other's passengers, in which there are Star Alliance, SkyTeam, and oneworld. Also, legacy carriers generally have better in-cabin services, which is meal service and in-flight entertainment. These carriers seem to have a higher cost when it comes to looking at their site, which sometimes it does, but oftentimes it doesn't. You're probably thinking to yourself, what is this man talking about? But we will get to the point sooner. We need to understand the fundamentals first. These airlines use a variety of aircraft ranging from an Embraer ERJ-145 or maybe a CRJ-200, all the way up to a 777, depending on the airline. These 5 carriers follow the spoke hub distribution paradigm, through which they funnel passengers from different locations into central hubs at major airports and sort the passengers onto connecting flights to their ultimate destinations. Budget airlines do not operate this way, and I'll get to this topic soon. The hubs of Alaska Airlines are Seattle-Tacoma, Ted Stevens Anchorage, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Portland. The hubs of Hawaiian Airlines are Honolulu and Kahului. The hubs of Delta are Atlanta, Boston, Detroit, Los Angeles, New York, Seattle-Tacoma, and Salt Lake City. The hubs of American Airlines are LA, Phoenix, Charlotte, Washington Ronald Reagan, Philadelphia, Miami, Dallas-Fort Worth, New York, and Chicago O'Hare. And then lastly, United's hubs are Chicago O'Hare, Newark, Houston George Bush, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Washington Dulles, Denver, and Guam. Legacy carriers also have a more diverse route network between other carriers and also expand their flights more often. Most often, flights are served multiple times so that you get a good option on what time and day you want to fly as well. Anyways, that's how legacy carriers work, and now we're going to get into how budget airlines work. Travelers today seem to have a wider variety of options to consider when jet setting. In addition to the traditional or legacy airlines we're all familiar with, there are also a growing number of low-cost or budget airlines taking to the skies. While they might share some similarities, traditional and low-cost airlines each offer distinct experiences. Now I'm going to talk about budget airlines now. Their way of working is totally different than of legacy carriers. Budget airlines are operated with an especially high emphasis on minimizing operating costs and without some of the traditional services and amenities provided in the fare, resulting in lower fares and fewer comforts. To make up for revenue lost and decreased ticket prices, the airline may charge extra fees, such as for carry-on baggage. For the last 20 years, they gained popularity all over the world due to their reasonable tariffs and high punctuality in flight execution. And by budget airlines, I mean the ULCCs, ultra-low-cost carriers, in the United States being Spirit, Allegiant, and Frontier, in Europe being Ryanair, EasyJet, Norwegian, Wizz Air, Vueling, WoW Air, Eurowings, and Flybe, and in AirAsia, Indigo, Cebu Pacific, Scoot, and Lion Air. They follow a system called the point-to-point transit, which is a transportation system in which a plane travels directly to a destination rather than going to a central hub. This connects smaller airports to bigger cities. I will give Asheville Airport as an example. This is located in North Carolina. Legacy carriers go to the hub, being Charlotte Douglas, meaning that people will have to use another means of transportation to reach their destination, while budget airlines like Allegiant take service to there from Fort Lauderdale and other places. Same situation with Detroit Airport and Flint. This differs from the spoke hub distribution paradigm, in which the transportation goes to a central location, where passengers change to another plane or any other means of transportation to reach their destination. The way they make money is by cutting their own operating costs. They don't offer high-cost features, and in certain situations, not all of them, showing you a low price up front, and by not giving you basic privileges such as seat reservation, check-in bags, and priority boarding that you would think would be included, and eventually charging you more than expected. And I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to do an example Spirit ticket in between Orlando and Detroit round trip. So here's the site. Then a round ticket is around $103. Then luggage both ways is around $80. Seat reservation is around $100. Food is around $30. Then priority boarding is another $30. If you forget your boarding pass, that's another $20 both ways. Keep in mind everything that I'm talking about is both ways, which turns your $100 round ticket into a $363 ticket for one person, and I will show you compared to other prices. Anyways, they also offer lots of destinations all over the base country, but don't follow the hub and spoke model like legacy carriers, and also less expand their route network. To compare budget airlines and legacy carriers, it's very simple. The pros to both are legacies have better networks, flight experience, and follow the hub and spoke system, and budget airlines have a low price, have better services to many more smaller cities, and offer promotions more often and accept discounts as well. The cons to both are that budget airlines is that they charge you for everything, and you will have watered down services and decrease of aircraft infrastructure, and for legacy carriers are that they don't offer service to smaller cities and are usually very pricey. Which brings me to the end of the video, which means the big question. Which should you choose, legacy carriers or budget airlines? I honestly don't have an answer to that because I don't know what you know, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and it's typically up to personal preference. But you can't deny that we should be grateful that we have the opportunity of finding out what's ahead of us through the field of aviation and travel. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. And don't forget to have a wonderful day. Thank you.